Okay, so this is a little booklet I made for Braxton to draw out some of the homeschool lessons. Some of these are kind of old, back from October. This is when we talked about maps, and he did a key, you can see down here, and drew out his little map. And we learned about the compass. And on here we talked about, in our science book, being alive. And these are just some of the things that he drew out for that. And talking about living and non-living things. And I label everything that he draws so that when we look back later, he can see, oh, this is what I drew. Okay. And we learned about some daylight and nighttime and shadows. The baby fish skeleton with on the move and talking about bones. And then we started learning about simple machines, and he drew out some simple machines here. Okay. Here's another map we talked about. Talking about population. And I thought about doing this book just because at being 3 and now 4, it was kind of hard for him to really sit and focus. But if he could draw out the small section we learned, then I thought it would help him kind of retain everything. And so far it's really worked, and he enjoys it a lot. And we learned about the 4 seasons. And he drew a flower in spring, green leaves in summer, golden leaves in autumn, and then no leaves in winter. And we started talking about different body parts and on the move. And he said this little person was naked because he's getting a bath. I thought that was really cute that he did that. And there's fish with fins. He drew a Nemo. And then we learned about wings, the wings of a honeybee. And here's where we learned about the weather, and he did the rain, kite in the wind, rainbows and sunny, and then a snowflake. And we talked about storms and flooding. He drew lightning storm and flood. A volcano, and then we talked a little bit about fossils. He did a fossilized snail shell. I think his volcano turned out pretty well. And we've been talking a little more in depth about volcanoes. Okay, his favorite thing that goes, he drew a tractor. And then his favorite instrument, he drew out a drum. And this week, back in December before our Christmas break, we started talking about body coverings. And so he drew a squid for skin, and we talked about how a squid can change its skin color to protect it from enemies. And then we learned about hair, and then fur and spines. And then the next couple days we'll talk about scales and shells. And then we discussed earthquakes, and he drew a tsunami. The little spot down there is an island with a tsunami coming. And then his favorite thing, that's a water slide that he drew. Because we were talking about in our How Are Things workbook, waterworks. So, and yeah, that's it. And then we just have the rest of the blank pages to kind of fill it out throughout the rest of the school year. I may end up having to do another book. This was just something fun, and he really enjoys it. And it's kind of a good way for him to show Daddy what we've discussed at school today.